The week leading into the 7th, I had this deep inner feeling that something was about to eventuate that may affect, my husband's well-being, and yet I can't explain why I would feel like this, but it was just a knowing. The morning of the 7th, I remember walking around the yard and there was a stillness that was so eerie, and the heat was just so intense, and you could feel the dryness in the air that was almost like it was, going to catch a light, even without a flame or a spark or anything like that. It was 11:11. I remember looking at the clock when my husband decided that he would walk out the door and join the crew for what was expected to be extreme conditions that, could have enormous effects of fire, and you could only hope, for each other's safety that everything would be okay. I remember saying to him, keep safe, because I had this terrible feeling of the day's events that may unfold. By mid-afternoon we started to hear a few things that just seemed unreal. I didn't know what to believe. Our place, we were not receiving any smoke. We couldn't see the smoke. There was a sense of smoke in the air, but nothing that told us or showed us the events that were unfolding. I purposely had a feeling not to turn on the scanner, and I'm glad that I didn't, because if I had heard the Mayday call, full alert tanker 1, the emotion just is overwhelming to hear a Mayday call that your loved one is on, and the well-being of all involved. But it wasn't much later that we got the news that my husband had been burnt, and it was so eerie to get that call, and yet I had to keep it together because I had children and grandchild around us, and you just wanted to keep it together for everyone's sake. And yet I had this, at the same time, I knew he would be okay, and I had this overwhelming feeling that we were lucky, and yet to receive the news that your husband has been burnt and feel lucky, it's just so stupid and so unreal. And yet I just knew we were lucky, we were fortunate, we were blessed. It was just knowing that things were just not good for so many others, and they were not going to get the news that theirs was at least coming home. The days that followed was surreal. It was like I was there, but there for others. I don't even know whether I took in the reality of the situation, of where he was and how he was, because there was just so much to do and keep going with that I just don't think I lived for that time. It was a feeling I can't explain. Well-being was at the forefront, and to keep as much normality and happiness and as many people and friends and loved ones around him to help him know that we're all there for him and get him better and bring him home. The stories that were coming from the hospital were just horrific, and just so unbelievably horrible that you just could not imagine what they went through. And in our journey, I wonder why did he get burnt? Why was there not the communication? Why did he have to step out and find the answers? And I'm proud that he did, because that was his role. He did what he should do, but why did he have to be there and not safe? And I wouldn't wish it on anyone else, and I don't want there to be any blame, but could it have been prevented? I know the day was so horrendous and so horrific for so many, and things just didn't work, but now it's to do my best to make sure our volunteers, our emergency service volunteers that face these wildfires and these horrific conditions have mandatory equipment and protection that limits their injuries, and they come home. And what can we do to make sure that they have better protection? There must be things that we can do, and that's the role I now play.